What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Roots of Success podcast. I am your host, Nate the Great, coming at you. And today we have a very special guest. Okay, if you didn't tell by the berries, my brother, TJ Jackson. How you doing, man?
I'm excellent, Nate. I'm excellent. I'm happy to be on the show with you, man.
First off, I just wanted to say I appreciate you for taking the time out. And I was telling them TJ guys that whenever I was driving up here through the community, I'm just thinking, wow, I'm over here like just dreaming and having the vision board get clearer and clearer.
I love how you say that, though. Because a vision board is something that is incredibly important for anyone who's aspiring to do anything. In my opinion, is it okay if I just talk about that for a second?
Absolutely.
I just think you have to, in life, you have to make sure you know what you're aiming for. You got to make sure you're making your own dreams and goals and seeing it, literally seeing what you want in life. And that's how we were raised. Our uncle Michael was big on that. And it's important to dream big, and because the world around you, there's a lot of negativity, and they'll try to limit your dreams and goals. But for you to be the best you can, you gotta think big and believe it. And one of the big, I think, factors for that is doing a vision board. So I love that.
Absolutely, because it's like, they say the power of manifestation, how powerful that is. And especially because a lot of people, they say about, I want to be successful, but success is different for everybody. When a lot of people look at success, especially the younger demographic, they think of the money, they think of the cars, they think of having the perfect woman, but they don't quite understand, I feel, what internally has to be done.
And what impresses me, Nate, is how you're saying this at your age. Because I was guilty, to an extent, of those things, thinking more from a material or more from something that's really not as satisfying and as sufficient or substantial as, like you said, your internal health and internal happiness. I'm older now, so it's clear for me. But youngsters, a lot of times, it's not clear from that. That vision's not clear. They're thinking more on houses, cars. But the key is what I've learned, you have to be happy internally. Because you can buy the best house you can, drive the nicest car, but if you're not happy, you're going to still be miserable. And I've seen it. I've seen it many, many times. So I love how you said that. And again, that's why I'm on this show. I really like your vibe.
I appreciate that.
And where you're going. And I just, I think highly of you, man. So keep doing your thing.
I appreciate that, TJ. That means a lot. And I'll kind of give a little bit of a background for those who might not know who TJ is. I'll read that. So TJ Jackson is the youngest son of Rock and Roll Hall of Famer guitarist Tito Jackson, as well as nephew of Michael and Janet Jackson, and the youngest brother of the multi-platinum selling group 3T.
Yes.
As the youngest member of 3T, TJ has performed to millions around the world, and now it's finally his time to release a solo project that represents him. It's real, it's raw, and it's ready.
Yeah, that's my little bio. That's my little script that people are reading off and saying, and it's just the truth. I was born into a big family and a popular family. I did my thing with my brothers as 3T. We did it quite well. And now it's me doing my own thing, and it's interesting because, like I said, I was one of those kids that 18, 19, I like to plan my entire life. But what I've noticed is a lot of things that I thought would happen have not happened the way I thought.
Interesting.
But it's all good. I wouldn't go back and change anything, I'd maybe do one thing over, but on the grand scheme of things, I'm good. I'm happy. And for me, Nate, what I learned is the importance of gratitude. And that's another thing that as an 18, 19-year-old, I didn't respect as much as I should have. But in the last 3-4 years, I've really been trying to implement gratitude in my life. Same things I'm grateful for every morning and every night. And that's changed my world. That's changed my mindset. It's changed everything. It's made everything clear and more, just more stronger. So I'm in a good place. And that's something for anyone who follows you. I think gratitude. Don't just dismiss it. Don't take it lightly, be serious with it. Maybe write it down and do it daily, So.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
What would you say was like, because I mean, you don't just wake up one day and you're like, time to begin gratitude.
Yeah. I do a podcast with my brothers. We have a foundation called the Tito Jackson Foundation. My mother was murdered when I was 16, and in honor of her and the love and what she did for the community, we launched her own foundation. So we do a weekly radio show every Wednesday, and we had a guest on. And, every time there's an elder guest, really anyone, but especially the elder guest, I always say, tell me something. What nugget can you give me? Give me some word of wisdom. Yeah. And she said, do you do gratitude? Are you practicing gratitude daily? And I said, truthfully, no, I'm not. And she's like, okay, promise me you'll do that. And promise me you'll do it not just today, not tomorrow, but do it for 2 months. Commit to that. And I committed to it, and I haven't looked back. And it's been life-changing. And I've seen and been around and met so many popular or successful people, in quotes. But what she told me, this normal, regular person told me, was equally, if not the most profound thing I've heard someone tell me. So it's been cool. It's been really empowering for me.
Absolutely. That's something myself, like, it's funny you said before, like, whenever you wake up and then before you go to bed, because a lot of people, with social media being so big, before bed and whenever they wake up,
Instagram, Snapchat,
Facebook, yep.
Yeah.
And it's an addiction to them.
Yeah.
And and I'm curious to hear your perspective, TJ, because you grew up in a different demographic. Mm-hmm. Social media wasn't necessarily like huge yet.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on your take, just over these past, especially 5-10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing how you got influencers out here in Los Angeles that are making millions.
Yeah.
Just off of social media.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on your thoughts with the impact social media has on today's world and how somebody can even use that to spread a positive message.
Well, it's huge. Whether we like it or not, social media is here. It's here to stay for the foreseeable future, in my opinion. It's running almost every industry, in a sense. The music industry is what I'm in primarily. And I can only... It's everything. The amount of followers and the engagement you have with your followers and, just the marketing that you could do as an individual is huge. And I welcome that because growing up in the family I am in as a Jackson, we often have headlines always told about us, and oftentimes it's not real. It's not the truth. So what social media has done for us, it's given us a platform to correct things quicker without, adding more fuel to the fire. So I've welcomed it. But one thing I'll tell everyone who's hearing this or watching this, you just have to be careful because there's a lot of social media profiles as well as a lot of social media antics where it's just promoting one type of thing that can kind of confuse you on what's really important in life. And, I have a channel called The Family Rules on social media, and it's strictly a positive thing for families. Wow. And someone actually, was like, you're not being real. You're not showing the dark side. You're not showing this. And everybody has trouble. Everyone has moments. But that's not what I'm going to project. There's enough of that in social media.
Oh, yeah.
I am not perfect. My wife's not perfect. My kids aren't perfect. We aren't a perfect family. No one is. But I still choose to project positivity because it inspires people. And I'm sure you see it all the time. Thank you for this message. It hit at the right time. Or, when you get those kind of messages, it keeps you going. And to me, that's the best. That's the definition of success for me, is being able to empower and strengthen, someone that you never even met. Mm-hmm. So I welcome social media, but for everyone out there, just be careful. Make sure you're following the right accounts. But if you're already following Nate, you're good. Keep it going though. But you gotta make sure you're using it and not letting it use you.
I like how you ended that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people let it use them.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy, TJ, because it's literally programmed for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like good old Zuckerberg. I love the dude with what he's built. You know, it's an absolute empire.
Yeah.
But there's a reason that every time you log in the app, the hearts pop up. It's love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody wants the heart. And just seeing how the algorithms work, the engagement, it's crazy because you got a lot of millennials out there that, there's a reason depression's at the all-time high.
Yeah, Nate, you hit on the head, and I got young adults that are going into this world, and it's very tough because I grew up different, and I didn't grow up with social media. I didn't grow up with that kind of pressure. But I love what you say because it is tougher for, it seems like, kids these days or young adults. And you have to be strengthened. You have to make sure you're following the right people. If there's someone that's making you feel different or odd, unfollow. Unfollow. You can't hesitate on that, And again, following you is a big thing because I love the vibe and the energy you give, So you just got to stay strong and make sure you're following successful and like-minded positive people. If there's an artist that you like that's presenting positivity or making you feel good, follow them. But if there's an artist that's complaining or doing negative things all the time, be careful.
Absolutely. And just to attest to that, to the audience and the listeners, I'm a big believer that you can reach anybody in this world. I don't care what status somebody has, if they're at the pinnacle of their success, you can reach anybody as long as you believe it in yourself.
Agree.
Agree. Like when I saw you on my brother June Archer, his show, and I'm like, man, that's TJ Jackson. And, I looked more into yourself and I was just like, man, this is like, I want to interview you, but I don't just want to interview you. I want to have a long-term friendship with you.
Yeah, man.
Because that's something for me, like being with people that are not just on the same wavelength, but even higher. Oh my gosh. Like it's like they say in Think and Grow Rich, you got to form a mastermind.
Yes, sir.
Right. And I've realized that at the age of 15 years old, whenever I picked up my first self-help book in high school and people told me, TJ, they're like, Nate, why are you reading this? You're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
We're from a conservative town. This isn't going to get you to where you want. They're trying to scam you.
What made you keep going, Nate?
What made me keep going?
Yeah, like what made you ignore that and stay down the path?
My desire for success.
Okay.
And most importantly, I realized at a young age, TJ, that I really loved people. Even though I was getting criticized at the time. Hey, why do you want to be a speaker? Why do you want to go after all these things? You got to do this. You got to do that. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to pave the life for Nate.
Yeah.
They didn't say Nate the Great back then. I adapted that over time. And that's what kept me going and people say, what's your why? I'm a big family person, TJ.
Yeah.
I love my family so much. I wish teleportation was something that existed right now because I would easily go back to Pennsylvania, and then come back. Yeah. But no, to answer your question, that was my thing.
And I'm going to ask you one more quick question. What was the book? What was the book you read when you were 15?
The Secret to Success by my first mentor, Eric Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool,
E.T. the hip hop preacher.
Cool. And I grew up similar, because I wasn't a reader at all. I was with my Uncle Michael a lot, my brothers and I. Yeah. And I wasn't a reader, and he was. And we used to go to Barnes & Noble, and I remember it clearly in New York one time. I was like, what am I going to do here? He spends an hour in this bookstore. I'm not a reader.
That's
and he goes, and he pulled me aside and basically said, I want you to really find a book. It's like, I don't like to read. He's like, no, you can find one book. Keep going. No matter what book, find a book that speaks to you.
Powerful.
And I picked up Tony Robbins, thinking Awaken the Giant Within.
Right.
Sorry. Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins. And it changed my life. It made me a reader from the get-go. it just changed the way I'm thinking. I thought, and like you said, when I go back or people would see, it's like, what are you reading? This is a waste of time.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't feel like that to me. It was speaking to me, and still to this day, I believe in it. I order things all the time on Amazon or from the bookstore on self-improvement. Or it's huge. It's important because I don't know why, but our society doesn't really embrace it like it should. You know, you get a manual for everything. Whenever you get something, a toy, a furniture piece, you get a manual. But you don't get a manual for your mind. So go get your manual and find those nuggets. You know, because your mind is powerful. You know, your mind is incredibly powerful. So take care of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, man, that's so funny you said that because I wasn't even a reader myself. Like they were feeding us these books in school, and I had no interest for it. But I realized, like you, whenever you picked up "Awaken the Giant Within" by Anthony Robbins, you know, you realize, okay, this is the reading that I want to digest, right?
Same.
And whenever you stay consistent with that, I mean, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The One Thing, you know, books that are just super deep by Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, The Law of Success. I mean, and you actually feed your mind into this and you ignore naysayers. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You can do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, absolutely. That's so funny, that door open.
I'm gonna go.
That's like a spirit. Oh my goodness!
I love that though, Nate.
Yeah.
All those books are books in my library. Are books that I have read as well.
Really?
All the ones you mentioned, and many more. But I know you have read them too. But you have to, if you're not a reader or if you're just starting out, go to the local bookstore and spend an hour there. Give yourself an hour. Don't put pressure on yourself to just this one. Go to the bookstore, find that book that speaks to you. That's like, okay, I'm feeling this, and then go from there. You'll follow this path of self-improvement and empowerment that is so important.
Absolutely, and make goals for yourself too.
100%.
You mentioned Amazon again. It's funny. Last year I made a commitment, TJ. I said every single order I make on Amazon, I'm going to buy one self-help book.
Oh, nice.
I did 53 orders last year on Amazon.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, it wasn't a whole lot to sell, but for me being from PA, that's a big deal. You know, the farmlands and all that.
Yeah.
So I read 53 books last year.
Good
and that was
for you,
by
man.
making that commitment.
Yeah.
And sticking with it. And it's not necessarily about how much knowledge you know better.
Yeah,
it's about the applied knowledge that you put out there.
Absolutely.
So I could talk about books all day, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, you met the right company. You met the right company. But there's a lot out there. You know, is it Don Luis Miguel? I'm so bad with the authors, but The Four Agreements was a strong book for me.
Yeah.
You know who I'm into now is Ryan Holiday.
Ryan Holiday sounds familiar.
Yeah, he did The Ego is the Enemy. And that's that was a book in the last 5 years that's really helped shape my mind too.
Wow.
And it's just the importance of staying humble and staying, just keeping that ego in check, And it's a fine line because you still got to be incredibly confident and believe in yourself, but you got to make sure that you're also being respectful and open to other people's ideas. Don't let if something's not feeling right for you, that doesn't mean you have to do it, but still have an open ear. That's an important concept.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter the status. Somebody could be on the streets. I mean,
100%.
You can meet them anywhere.
100%.
Wow. I'm curious, TJ. With you growing up, I'm sure you've learned countless things. Just with the people that you've been associated with and that you've been around.
Yeah.
How did you? First off, I mean, how did you even balance all that? Because being in this, it's not just a family, but being the biggest family in all of music, in my opinion. How does somebody like yourself balance all of that?
I get that. I ask that quite a bit, but Nate, that's all I know. It's my family, So people hear the name Michael Jackson or Janet Jackson, but that's Uncle Michael, not Janet to me. And what I'm lucky with my entire family, they've been very humble. So when you're brought up in a humble way, brought up knowing you're no better than you're not any more special to start than anyone else. Be respectful. Give back. When that's driven in your core, like it was for me, my brothers, and in my opinion, all of our cousins, it keeps you in a grounded state. So I never thought of like, I'm a Jackson. I should be able to walk into this club because I'm a Jackson. I never thought of it like that.
Wow.
Never even used that. It wasn't in my interest. You know what I mean? So I think that was important, and we got to see a lot. We got to go around the world. I saw some incredible things, but I always was grounded with it. And I think that is huge, that, anybody who's a parent or has some success, you got to make sure your kids are grounded, because I think a lot of kids get messed up thinking that they're more special when they haven't even done anything themselves, because it's like false hope, and that leads to depression and issues. So keep your kids grounded and let them make their own mistakes. Just be there to support and love them and help them get up. Because that's empowering. Making a mistake is empowering.
Absolutely.
You can learn something from it.
Yeah.
And I love it because you're a Napoleon Hill guy. But every failure has an equivalent success. It's a seed of success in a failure. You just got to choose to see it that way.
Man, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Because you got to believe it in yourself first.
100%.
You could have easily been like, I'm born a Jackson.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to be able to have this access, this, and that. But it impresses me because a lot of people are like that.
Oh, yeah. And
you weren't.
No, when we grew up, it was all around us. And even now, it's everywhere. But it just doesn't feel right, And,
right.
And I'm a big believer of being real and being humbled. And I lived in Texas for a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
And, people are like, why Texas? Because it's the furthest thing away from what I'm used to, what I knew.
It's a big old state, too. That's
it's different.
Sure. Yeah.
And I loved every minute out there, but when you can put yourself in positions where it's new and it's fresh and you're kind of starting over, you get stronger and you feel better about yourself and you have a better scope of what's important, So, and I think a lot of people, they'll get stuck in one thing. They get stuck in living in the place they grew up in, thinking the way they did, seeing the same exact kind of movies or reading the same exact things and, seeing the same type of entertainment. Broaden that scope, challenge yourself to go elsewhere, challenge yourself to go out of the state, out of the country, just do it, and what you come back is your personal growth will be huge.
Absolutely. You've traveled with people, and I'm sure you've traveled by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Which one has been more impactful and why?
I would say traveling by myself. I don't know if that's just my answer or a popular answer, but I just, maybe it's because of my situation. I have a lot of kids and, I'm guardian for my uncle's kids. So it's a lot of time that I'm committing to others. So when I get the chance to go away and do my thing, it's quite refreshing. I get to slow down. I get to embrace time more. I get to read what I want to read more without, as many distractions. So I would say it's that, I can go on the walk. I can walk to a museum, which is something I used to never want to do or care to do. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate it.
Right.
But you can kind of do your thing more. But again, it could just be me because, again, I have a big family. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of responsibilities. But when I get a couple of days, it's either just me or me and my wife that I feel is the most fulfilling and sufficient for me.
Wow, that's incredible. I was curious because I used to travel a lot, with whether it's my family or my friends, my business partner. And whenever I traveled alone, it made me get out of my comfort zone a lot more. Because naturally, TJ, I'm introverted.
Okay.
But I don't label myself. I used to label myself as introverted, and it impacted how I was throughout my life. Right. Because if you label yourself, then you're going to live by that.
Yes, sir.
So, of course, I had some mentors that preached to me and kind of gave me some wisdom and guidance. Mm-hmm. And they said, "Hey, you can't live by that." So I didn't live by that. So every time I walk into the room now, I'm like, it doesn't matter who's in the room.
Yeah.
What matters is I'm walking into this room being the best version of myself. So traveling, I've adapted that philosophy as well. with me traveling alone, anybody I come in touch with, I'm going to make an impact. If it's,
that's cool, man.
Hey, how you doing? You doing great? I'm doing wonderful. Like a young lady yesterday, she was in the elevator, TJ, and I could tell she was going through it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you good? She's like, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. I asked her. I spent the time with her. I was seeing what was up because I can feel that.
Yeah.
I can feel somebody's energy.
So what happened? What did you tell her? Did you when she says, "Yeah, I'm okay"?
Yeah. I mean, she told me kind of a little bit about her story, and then I told her, I'm like, yo, you were blessed to be here.
Yeah.
You were literally a gift from God.
Yeah.
And when you can adapt that mindset that you were gifted to be in this earth, on this world, like in the universe, you can do anything.
The doors open up, and I think it's perspective. You know, I did a post. I have a newsletter that I write once a week with my ideas and what's coming up in my life.
Yeah.
But I did one recently on the importance of gratitude and perspective. You know, it's I know multimillionaires who are miserable. And I know people who are living like check to check that are incredibly happy. You know what I mean? And it's just important for people to understand the importance of perspective. And I think the role of gratitude plays a big role in it. You know, if you could be thankful for just having shoes, forget what type of shoes, just the fact that you can have shoes, that you have a foot to put the shoes on. When you could be thankful for that and you could be as grounded for that, it opens up everything. All of a sudden, you know, an issue with your phone isn't the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it can change everything if you can get a hold of perspective. And to me, gratitude goes with that because, again, practicing gratitude and being thankful for what you do have and how blessed you are to be here is a powerful thing. And it'll brighten your world. It'll make life way more happier and real success because that's what success is.
Absolutely. When you can count your blessings with everything that you've done so far and you know not exactly what's coming, but if you can literally visualize what you want, you can literally make your dreams become a reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think a lot of times people, they get discouraged, you know, and nothing worthwhile comes easy. You know, nothing worthwhile comes easy. There's no easy way. It may appear to be looking like it was an easy achieve or it wasn't meant to be for me, but you gotta stay with it. Obstacle is the Way is another great Ryan Holiday book where it's basically trying to reframe that going through obstacles is the way to be, you know, because it'll make you stronger. It'll make you, be able to take on anything. And I just believe that. I believe, you know, and even now, as I embark on my solo project, solo career, whatever happens, happens, you know, and it's one of those things where I used to not think like that. But today, you know, in the recent future or the recent past, I have. And it's been incredibly fulfilling for me to think that way. You know, as long as one person out there is inspired, I'm good. And I've already hit that, you know what I mean? So it's good, you know, and I think that's the key. You gotta reframe what is successful to you without letting the external world impact your mind and what you feel.
That's deep.
Yeah.
It's funny seeing your Instagram stories. You got people all over the world, France and people that are posting that, and that's what really keeps things going.
I'm blessed, man. And, you know, me, my brothers, our group, 3T, our family, we're all so blessed to be able to do what we do. And I don't take it for granted. You know, I think music's an incredibly powerful thing. And like you said, there's people here that don't even speak English, but love us or love, you know, what I'm doing and can sing every word, even though they don't speak the language.
Right.
That's so cool, man. That's so cool to know that you can do something that inspires you. And I've heard so many people talk crap about me or be naysayers or tell me to quit or, you know, you're not Michael, so you need to give it up. That's part of it.
Right.
You just got to ignore it and do you. You know, I'm not trying to be Michael. You know, Michael's Michael and he's amazing at Michael, you know. I'm trying to be TJ and whatever that means. I want to be the best TJ possible, and that's success to me.
That mindset's incredible.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, TJ. Has music has it always been there, or did you have to discover it for yourself that you can actually,
As far as I can remember, it's always been there. My brothers and I, we had our group, as far as I can remember. I was probably 7 years old, rehearsing every day after school, just wanting to be like our father and uncles.
Yeah.
So, they were like our superheroes. So that's who we, after school, we'd put our bags down and want to be like, So it's, as far as I can remember, music's always been there. But I will say this, because this is my first time, even though I've been in the industry for 20 plus years, my first time embarking on my own. And I'm lucky because I haven't really felt any fear, and I know a lot of artists do. It is a different comfort zone. When I'm doing interviews, it's just me. When I'm performing, it's just me. It's all on me. So, but I'm embracing that challenge. I'm embracing it and enjoying it. Whatever happens, happens. If I forget lyrics, which I often do, it happens. It becomes part of that moment. And it took me a while to get to this. People may be hearing and saying, gosh, he's so positive. Why can't I be? It doesn't happen overnight. It's just reframing your mind and making sure you're picking up the right books and reading them and surrounding yourself with the right people. And the other thing I want to say, if it's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
I remember being like 15 years old and I had a poster on my wall. I ordered it. I want to say it was from Amazon, maybe when Amazon was first starting out, but it basically said, I think it's the 20 secrets to success. And again, I hate saying this because I don't have the best memory, but the very first one was make sure you choose the right spouse. 90% of your happiness or misery will be based on that decision. That stuck with me. That was something that stuck so strongly to me. And from what I see from my friends and, family, that is such an important thing. So if you're out there, you got to make sure that person, that spouse, that significant other is empowering you and not dragging you down. Is not being, because no matter how great everything else is, if that other person is bringing you down, is belittling you, is not supporting you when you need it, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to succeed. So, be respectful. You could be friends, but start over. And I don't want to be harsh, but I'm that strong on that.
Yeah.
And without the spouse I have, I don't know if I would have gotten to where I'm at. You know what I mean? And it's just very important because we're all going to have dark moments. We're going to have dark days. We're going to have days where I don't know. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. But that's where you need that support system. And if you don't have it, and if you don't have it, it's tough. If you don't have a spouse, make sure you're yourself that own support system. Make sure it's a video you cut of yourself or a picture or a visionary board. Make sure it's something that's lifting you back up because you need that. You need that.
Man, that's powerful. You're going to have to show me that because...
Yeah, it's upstairs and it's in all my kids' rooms.
Man, I'm going to have to...
It's all my kids' rooms. And I'll say
I'm
this.
going to put it in my room, TJ.
No, it's empowering. Yeah. It's something, and I started from the beginning when my kids... As soon as they're 4 and 5, it's up in their room. I want them to think of that as like their landscape. That's what they know, and it's to the point where and I'm going to share this. I even have it in my daughter's bathroom. So when she's using the restroom, it is right there.
She's just doing a little wipe and then she's like...
it's there. And my wife's like, it's not going there. And I said, yes, it's going there, because I want my child to be positive. I want her to have these things ingrained in them, because it's important. Our schools aren't doing it like they should, so I believe it's up to us as people to make sure we're filling our loved ones with some positivity.
Absolutely. Next thing, you'll be getting the toilet paper printed with the words on it. That way you...
Hey, there's an idea. There's your first product.
Seriously. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's inspiring, TJ, because, that's the thing. Being immersed around that, even if you put it in the car.
Yeah.
You got to put that little visor down, you got to put your makeup on.
100%. 100%. And writing it on your mirror.
Yeah.
So you see it every day, putting pictures up of what you want to achieve. That's all good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One last question before we, end things.
Yes.
What is your biggest why for what you do? What keeps you going every single day?
It's my family. It's my family, and when you lose I lost my mother, like I said, right after I turned 16, a month into it, and she was murdered. It was a terrible thing, and I lost my why, and I ended up becoming a father at 20. I think I just turned 21, which was incredibly. It was a big no-no for where I grew up. Went to a private school, prestigious private school, got accepted to a prestigious college, and everyone around me went to school, got a career, then you start your family. That wasn't my road. Once my mother passed, I needed that why. And I needed that unconditional love from someone. And to me, it was my own child that could give it to me. So it was, I think, challenging for my family to know I was having a kid so young. But it was crucial for me. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't something I didn't plan. I actually wanted this. I was dying for it. I was ordering subscriptions to baby magazines as a teen, because I needed that. Yeah. And I had it, and still, they're my why. My family's my why. And when you lose a parent young and then a beloved family member, like I lost my Uncle Michael, it changes your mindset. So now I'm at a point where I'm just trying to leave a proper legacy for my kids and my family, as well as for my kids to aspire to be and do their own thing and to add to it. So that's how I kind of go into it. And I know I'm not old, but that's just the truth. I want to leave some positivity in this world, as an artist, as a eventually as an author. And I have big goals, but as of right now, I'm in the artist phase, but I'll always be reading, and I'll always be trying to be a positive influence for everyone. For everyone, not just my family, but for everyone. The world needs it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that you didn't let that define you.
You know what, Nate? You're talking about my mother's passing?
Yeah.
It was my Uncle Michael, that my father, my grandmother, and my Uncle Michael, and some other family friends, but my Uncle Michael was huge on that, and he plucked us, my brothers and I, and took us with him, and we were on the road with him. We were in the process of releasing our first album, finishing our first album, and we were despondent. We were lost, and he's like, no, you got to channel this and do something that will make your mom happy. Make this powerful. Make her proud. Don't fall on it. Don't let this define you. He was, and when you hear from his voice and you see the influence he had around the world and how much happiness he brought to people, it helped us a lot. And that to me was the crucial point, because I went from a straight A student to not caring, to screwing up in school. Nothing crazy, but was not the same student. Over one summer, my life changed. Yeah. So I was blessed to have that figure that caught me, and I again, that's one of the reasons why we have our Tito Jackson Foundation, to try to catch people who may not have had that, just to try to be that support, because when those things happen, it's very isolating. You feel like it's just you and you're the one struggling, but there's a bunch of people that are going through similar things. And if you can unite with them and get empowered and get back on your feet, I've always felt, and I know I'm going over, but I've always felt, because I've dealt with that, I had, I don't want to say an advantage, but I had a bit less fear. What can you lose after that? If you lose your beloved mom, who was your world, what else is there to lose? And I was able to have that perspective to go for things in life. I moved to Texas for a couple of years, similar after. Never rented a U-Haul my first time driving a big truck. And it's like, people are like, I was doing that at 16, 17, but for me, who was kind of sheltered, that was a big step for me, and I was on the road and, driving straight and just exploring my boundaries. And when you have that big tragedy, that big moment of destruction, or where you feel like your life's cradle or crumbling on you, you have to find that strength to say, okay, this is only going to make me stronger. I'm gonna be the best me I can and do something special. Yeah.
I'm just gonna, wow. Got me getting a little emotional.
Yeah, that's what it was for me, Nate. And that's been, 20 plus years since that's happened. But I'm feeling good. Everything seems to be lining up in place. And again, it has nothing to do with financial. Nothing to do with financials. It's all the mental state of where you feel. And I can go anywhere right now and be anything. As long as I'm feeling good and empowered and strong, that's everything.
Wow. Absolutely. Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm gonna just leave it there. Man, that's deep.
Yeah. You want to share something? You good?
Yeah. I just
Yeah, man. It's the truth, though. And it's important, Nate. It's important for people to see it, man. That no one's alone, and that's the thing. Going back to your social media can isolate you, man. And that's why I'm a big fan of what you do, because you're being that person for people, that reliable support, and power to you and props to you, man. Because like I said, I get asked to do stuff all the time, but when you asked me, and I checked your profile, and I was like, I got to do this guy. I got to do Nate the Great. And,
I feel you, brother.
And it's the truth, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
That means a lot.
Yeah, man.
So, hey, we keep it real on the podcast,
That's
ladies
right.
and gentlemen.
No other way. And don't be afraid of things, man. If especially in today's world, it's so interesting, Nate. Because I'll share this. Yeah. When I first started as an artist, everything was polished and perfect. Everything was polished and perfect. The photo shoot, it was the one picture, it was touched up, everything's right. In today's world, you can show your flaws, but at the same time, people are going to jump on you, critique you for the flaws, but it's okay now. You just got to make sure you stay strong and don't give that negative response 10 times that power. If you have to block them, keep all those positive, keep a positive train going and go, and a lot of times when people are negative, it's something that's going on inside of them. It's a reflection of them, not you.
Straight up.
And it's hard to I've never really critiqued anything. I've never left a review on Amazon or done that. But I would darn well not do it. If I'm going to do it for the first time, it's going to be something positive. It's not going to be something negative. I'm not just, unless it's a scam thing where I'm trying to protect people. But if there's something that wasn't just fulfilling for me, I will probably leave it alone. I'd rather spend that energy doing positive stuff. So, but not many people are like that. But it's okay. Yeah. It's okay as long as you within yourself are strong and that you're doing the right thing and you're giving it your all and you believing in yourself. That is everything. That is everything.
Absolutely. The belief in yourself, with you knowing that you're already going to make it and knowing what it is that you want to do.
That's everything. Yeah. Because for me, at this point, a number one song, perfect thing. Yeah. We've had big songs. We've had, and I hate to say it like that because I don't want to be braggadocious, but we've had some incredible success, my brothers and I. But for me, we've had, plaques and millions sold and all those kind of things. But for me, the most memorable thing is a memory. And I've already said I don't have the best memory, but it's a memory of a guy in a French airport in France coming up to me, giving me a hug. Guy I did not know, who worked at an airline, giving me a hug, telling me his daughter got married to our song the night before. That is success.
Yeah.
That is success. So the fact that our songs did well, that at this point in my life, that means nothing. What matters is the engagement and the fact that I was able to have a positive influence. Mm-hmm. So this go around, now that I'm older, if I don't hit number one, if I don't hit top 5, top 10, oh well. What I care about is people saying, this helped me get through my day. This helped me do this. This is the song that, my husband and I are dancing to.
Right.
That's it. That is success. So although during the process of creating my idea of success could be, being on the radio and being around the world, once I get to this stage, it flips. It flips to what kind of engagement and what kind of connection and how am I empowering people. That's success. Period. Because with that comes everything. That comes everything. That's the motivation to keep going. Because if you think about number one, there's always going to be something. Okay, I was only number one for 1 week. Now I need 4 weeks. Now I need 10 number ones in a row. That's a moving stick. So just grasp your idea of trying to engage in impacting, even if it's one person. That's the goal.
It's funny you said that, TJ. Kid you not, last night I was at a gas station. Mm-hmm. This guy, he was a Navy veteran. Mm-hmm. He was asking if I had any money for him to give him, and I gave him some money. But we were walking to the ATM. He was telling me his story. Whenever he was telling me his story, he was, of course, saying how he's in a tough position. I told him a little bit about what I do. Mm-hmm. I didn't tell him I was an author, right? He introduced me to his wife. Long story short, after I, the money was given to him, and he's like, "I'm gonna pump your gas at least." I was like, "Okay, I appreciate that." So, he comes over to pump my gas, and I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna give this guy my book." I asked him, I'm like, "Sir, do you read?" He said, "Oh yeah, I do some reading, absolutely. I have some spare books in my glove compartment just in case something like this would happen, So I gave him my book. He's like, "Success Secrets for," and then he paused. He's like, "Hey, glasses on." And then he just ran right back to his wife and was like, "This, I don't know what was said, but he did that because he saw this dude's an author."
Oh, wow.
He has his own book. And I was telling him about, listen, the position, whatever financial debt somebody might be in, it's all a mentality.
Yeah.
Because you might be several grand, however many grand or hundreds, or you might just be at zero. You might have the money. But the mentality, if you believe that, you're going to be that.
Yeah.
And I was telling them that, and then they were just like,
"Yeah,
what?" And then once I gave them the book, to what you were saying, to how they got married to that song,
yeah,
the impact from the book.
It's everything. It's everything, and I can only assume, and that's incredibly empowering for you to experience, and it keeps you going and keeps you wanting to do exactly what you do. And I think that's the important thing is we have to start measuring success in those terms. How are you impacting others and making their lives better? Stop worrying about charts. Stop worrying about, bestsellers. Stop worrying about that. That will come when it's supposed to come, if it's supposed to come.
Right.
What matters is how you're connecting and empowering others, because that, to me, is the most rewarding feeling.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. And just to kind of wrap some things up, TJ just had a song called come out, Insomnia.
Yeah,
if you haven't listened to it, check it out. And you said you got a book coming out as well.
Yeah, I'm working on and I'm revealing it here for the very first time, which is all good.
Okay.
Working on a family-inspired book. Everything I've learned as a parent. I've been a father. I am a father, a stepfather, and a guardian. Yeah. So I've dealt with all those things and the ups and downs. I've learned a lot. I was not perfect. I'm not perfect at any of those. But I do have a strong aspiration to be the best I can at all three of those things. And I've learned a lot, and I want to write a book, and I actually have. I'm quite deep into it. I just want to make it perfect, which is another thing. But I want to make it really strong and get it out there for the world. So, but if anyone who's interested in that journey, go to the Family Rules. It's on all the social media platforms, and follow me there, and you can see that journey of me as a parental or from a family perspective, some type of figure.
Absolutely. And I'll attach all the links in the bio below. Social media, where can the...
So on Instagram is TJ Jackson 9.
Okay.
Facebook and YouTube is TJ Jackson World. But again, I think anyone who wants to learn more about me, probably the newsletter. It's been a lot of fun. I get to say what's on my mind and keep people close to me on this journey that I'm doing at this point in my life. And the best way to subscribe to that is to go to tjjackson.com. And then from there, it's everywhere. You could just join my newsletter.
Absolutely. I'll attach, again, all of it in the description below. Man, typically TJ asks guests to leave a nugget before the show ends, but I mean, You've done more than enough.
Well, I think I think gratitude, perspective, but for something different is don't be hard on yourself. Don't let the world, social media. Since we're talking about social media a lot, it projects the best parts of people often. So a lot of times you don't think you're measuring up. But don't be hard on yourself. Pick yourself back up and learn to enjoy the journey. And do what you love. A perfect example is it was hard. I was really big into education in school, and I was hard on my eldest son to make sure he was doing that. And he's at a point where he's not sure he wants to just do that at this moment in his life. He may want to chase another dream. So I'm at a crossroads as a parent, who's been there for him from the educate in many ways, but been preaching education. I've learned to have to accept his path as long as he's not hurting people. He's doing the right thing. He's working hard at his dream. My job is to support him. So, it took me time to get there, but I think we just have to support each other and show love to each other and stay positive, man. Stay positive, everyone. It's tough. There's tough moments, but everything's obtainable, and you just got to be positive and stay with it.
Stay positive. Stay with it.
Yeah.
Have that mentality that you can do anything that you want. It's all belief level.
Absolutely.
TJ Jackson.
Yes.
I appreciate you, brother.
Nate, you're the man. Thank you, bud.
Man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.